A positive reaction to Friday's CPI data sparked a rally in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a handful of leading altcoins. But how long will the rally last? Will it have legs? Join us in this video as we dive in deeper and walk through the charts of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the top altcoins on our radar right now for potential swing trade entry. Taking a look at the daily chart of Bitcoin, in our last video, we told you that Bitcoin was coming into major support just above the 25,000 level, which was not only the prior swing lows from May, but also if we go back a bit further, there was horizontal support from back in February. And on the weekly chart, we also had support of the 20-week moving average. Since then, Bitcoin bounced off support of its prior low from May 12th and is now testing resistance of its 10-day moving average. The 10-day moving average is right around today's high, just shy of the 27,000 level, with further resistance all the way up to around 27,100, which is the 20-day moving average. So just above the current price of Bitcoin is a key resistance of the 10 and 20-day moving averages. If Bitcoin can break above 27,100 on big volume and convincingly hold above the high of this consolidation, then that would be a bullish sign for the market, and it would be a potential double bottom in Bitcoin. So, of course, again, breaking out above the high of this consolidation after forming a double bottom is positive, but then we do have resistance of the 50-day moving average to contend with right around the 28,200 area. So we're being very cautious at the moment, but very short term, the price action has turned bullish, but keeping an eye on it closely because of the overhead resistance. Next, let's take a look at Ethereum, which serves as a proxy for the overall health of the altcoin market. On Ethereum, notice that we're showing slight relative strength to Bitcoin, whereas Bitcoin formed a double bottom at its May 12th low. Notice that Ethereum actually formed a higher low. And Ethereum is also showing slight relative strength because it's also above its 10 and 20-day moving averages, whereas Bitcoin is still below. So that's very subtle difference there, but very important. And that is the slight relative strength in Ethereum, because that means that we could be setting up for a potential rally in the altcoin market. That being said, there is key resistance overhead of the 50-day moving average right around the 1883 area, which quite notably converges with resistance of the downtrend line from the April high. So that's very key point there. Whenever you have convergence of a resistance level, it becomes more difficult to get above that resistance level. But when you do get above resistance level that has convergence, then you often see a very powerful breakout because everybody steps in to buy on that break of resistance. So that's going to be a real important level to keep an eye on if this rally continues in Ethereum. Again, right around the 1880 to, let's say the 1900 area. If Ethereum can clear 1900 on volume, then it would be above the high of its multi-week consolidation, its downtrend line, and its 50-day MA, and it's time to get more aggressive in the altcoin market. But until then, we are being very selective with quick bounce plays. Typically in the altcoin market, we're looking to trade cryptos that have high relative strength, but there hasn't been much lately with relative strength. So instead, we've shifted to more of a short-term focus and bounce trades, specifically looking for cryptos that have formed a higher low on their daily charts and as they pierce through their 20-day moving averages. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few cryptos that we've entered recently and a few that are on our radar, and just give you kind of an educational walkthrough as to what we're looking at in this market. First up is AGIX. AGIX is a short-term trend reversal play. It's not on our relative strength watch list, although it was a former relative strength leader in the last bull run. And AGIX, you can see the reason it's a trend reversal play is, first of all, we formed a higher low on the daily chart, and we've broken above both the 10 and 20-day moving average. The 10-day moving average has crossed above the 20-day moving average, and this is all being confirmed by higher volume on the up days and declining volume on the pullback days. So we're seeing definitely bullish price action and volume confirmation for a short-term trend reversal and bottoming action. We can also see that the price action today has broken out above a downtrend line from the high that goes back to March. And that move above the downtrend line correlated to a breakout back above the 10-day moving average. And that's probably why we're seeing such volatility and big volume coming in here, because this is a pivotal level. Now, we do have resistance of the 50-day moving average just above, which is now converging with the prior high from May 19th. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge to get through there on the first attempt, right around the 32.25 area. But with enough volume, we can certainly power through that. So we are looking at a potential re-entry into this trade. We recently made a 14% gain on the first half and basically scratched the second half of the position. And now that we're seeing more price confirmation of the trade, we are looking at AGIX for potential re-entry if we can find a low-risk entry point. So keep an eye on AGIX. Again, a short-term trend reversal setup. RDNT has formed a double bottom type pattern and is now moving above its 10-day MA and 20-day moving average. It's pulled back a little bit, but just a few minutes ago was above its 20-day MA, and it's on increasing volume. So we've seen a pattern this past week of a lot of cryptos that are breaking out above their 20-day MAs on big volume, and they have a big rally that day and into the next afternoon before pulling back. So we took a shot at RDNT in the portfolio today as it's showing increasing relative strength and volume. We're going to keep an eye on resistance here at the 50-day MA, and we'll look to take some profit off the table if we get a move up to that level. So RDNT, keep an eye on this one. And RDNT is a recent ICO, which we like because there's not as much overhead supply. CFX is a former leader in the last bull run. And if you take a look here, you'll see that 4 days ago, CFX tried to break out above its 50-day moving average after finding support and holding at support of its 20-day moving average for an entire week. It tried to break out above the 50. Now, the initial breakout attempt failed, but the price action gently pulled back and has held support of the 10-day moving average for the past 3 days. So we can see that buyers are stepping in to provide support at both the 20 and 10-day moving averages. And the next rally attempt that tests its 50-day moving average could break through. And a breakthrough could result in significant momentum. It's not too far off its all-time highs. And this is a former relative strength leader. We've also got an inverse head and shoulder type pattern forming here. You can see the left shoulder here, the right shoulder, the head, and the neckline. So it's not exactly a perfect inverse head and shoulder, but it is a bullish bottoming pattern. So CFX, it's in a very tight range right now. We have a volatility contraction, which means a big move is probably coming soon in either direction. And based on what we've seen, that could be a move to the upside. And top relative strength award in the altcoin market goes to RNDR. RNDR is one of the only altcoins that is currently trading at a new 52-week high and firmly above its 10, 20, and 50-day moving averages, which are all trending higher as well. So RNDR has had massive relative strength. We recently did trade this for a 24% gain on a quick swing trade from $1.91 to $2.35. And we were looking for a re-entry point, but we haven't seen a low-risk re-entry. Notice how the price action has been very choppy and indecisive. So even though it's grinding higher, we've not really had any low-risk entry points, from a volatility contraction or a pullback. Very choppily edging higher. But nonetheless, RNDR remains on a relative strength watch list. If we spot a low-risk entry point, particularly on a pullback, perhaps that undercuts its 10-day moving average or even a pullback to the rising 20-day moving average in the future. That's a wrap for today's Morpheus crypto video. We hope you got some great trade ideas, and remember to stay vigilant, stay cautious out there, take profits quickly, at least on partial position size, until we see Bitcoin and Ethereum reclaim the 10 and 20-day moving averages. Remember that Ethereum is testing its downtrend line, and if Ethereum can get back above that downtrend line, then we're looking at a potential breakout. If you're new to Morpheus, be sure to first like this video and subscribe to our channel. Then head on over to morpheustrading.com to learn more about how our crypto trading services can help you learn while you earn and to trade with confidence. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back here again with another crypto video on Monday.